I mean, the real fascinating crypto is Bitcoin. To me, I mean, that's the one that I think has the most likely possibility of becoming a universal viable currency. And it's, it's limited in the amount that there can be. It's, people mine it with their own computer. It's like, that to me is very fascinating. And I love the fact that it's been implemented.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we're taking a look at the market sell-off that is underway here as expected on Monday. Obviously over the weekend with the geopolitical tension and issues arising in the Middle East, there was going to be a sell-off today as there is uncertainty around what will happen. And so markets hate uncertainty. The sell-off has started. So we can see from BTC here as we just jump in, it is down to around 27.5. And over the last 2 hours here, starting around 9 a.m. UK time, you can see a big move down from roughly 27,850 all the way down to 27,500. So a bit of momentum to the downside as you can see on Bitcoin. It was holding up well over the weekend. The actual weekly close as well was pretty damn good, but it is starting off this new week on a slide here due to the fact we have these issues in the Middle East. So the expectation is that the traditional markets will also follow suit and move down, and the kind of area I'm looking for is this recent low that was printed last week at the start of October around 42.30s, that kind of area, to see if that can hold here, because in all likelihood as the markets open later today in the US, we're going to see some movement to the downside as BTC is pretty much showing us the way here. So after a weekend away from the office, the TradFi bros most likely to come in and send this lower, but it's whether these areas can hold and whether we do get a bid back up later, maybe in the day or maybe later in the week. Expectation here is that we print some wicks to the downside on higher time frames, maybe on the weekly, etc. But if there is an escalation in the conflict, of course, we don't really know what will happen. But if there is really bad negative headlines coming out continuously, maybe other countries get involved, then it of course becomes more likely the markets continue to go lower. You can see DXY is actually printing up here a bit. We're also seeing the likes of crude oil spike up this morning as well. Crude oil on the chart here gapping up from 82 to around 86 at this moment in time. Let's have a little look at this though for a bit of contrast, as this was quite an interesting post made by Titan of Crypto showing the inverse correlation of the dollar versus BTC. But potentially this situation could change with the issues that we're seeing in the Middle East, because if the dollar now catches a real bid as a form of kind of safe haven, then maybe this will actually be null and void. But what we're seeing here is on the Dixie chart, if we have doji candles printed or these extended wicks to the upside known as shooting stars, this has shown tops for the DXY. And when the DXY has topped and started to move back down, we have the inverse taking place for BTC. Dollar comes down, down again, BTC up. There is obviously one black swan here with FTX. Up versus down, etc., etc. And as you can see recently, the dollar has printed a bit of a shooting star over the last week, and now the expectation was BTC can potentially pump up from here. So the momentum was showing downside for dollar, upside for Bitcoin. Of course, today will probably be an anomaly on this. We'll have to check in over the course of the next week to see if the overall trend would continue up for BTC, down for DXY, or whether we've now just hit a point of inflection due to geopolitics. But that was quite interesting due to the fact we did see all the hallmarks of a top in terms of sentiment for dollar and a bottom for Bitcoin over, say, the previous fortnight. People extremely bearish crypto and the dollar wrecking ball was in full effect. But here is a bear signal if you've ever seen one. The Ethereum Foundation has started selling ETH earlier this morning. So Eth Foundation swapped 1,700 Ethereum tokens, 2.7 mil into stablecoins, USDC being their stablecoin of choice. Now, we've actually discussed this previously. My alerts did go off on email. As we see, Ethereum, typically the foundation does sell tops, or at least local tops. This goes back to 2019, they sold 30,000 near the top by here. They sold 100,000 here in 2017. It did then go down for a bit, but we did have a bull market afterwards. 28,000 sold near a top by here. 35,000 ETH sold at the May highs in 2021. That was a top. And they also sold the Pico top of the 2021 November bull market there as well. More recently, they sold 15,000 ETH in May of 2023 before Ethereum did start to slide back down. And today they've just sold again with Ethereum around 1,600 bucks. ETH currently has broken just below 1,600 during the course of filming. What we're also seeing though is the Ethereum Foundation being used as a sell or short signal by the market. So of course, a lot of people track these big wallets. It's getting a bit of traction over on Twitter. Look on Chain, for example. That account has already posted about it. And so what you're seeing is here, the open interest on ETH going through the roof. And this, of course, will be people piling into short. ETH Foundation sells. We've seen the logic behind this. It typically marks a good period to sell your ETH positions and buy back lower. And so what you can see is people piling in on the short side here. Now, whether or not these can get wrecked here at some point by a bit of a reversal happening is yet to be seen, because typically traders do not get a free ride on an easy short, and there would be some shenanigans in play. But just to keep an eye on that, of course, that is bearish overall for the markets, as ETH and your altcoins typically move hand in hand. Of course, there will be some outliers. But if we just come to this here, the line around 6 million or 5.9 million sats per Ethereum has been broken. It started to break down around Wednesday of last week. And then what we've seen is a continuation to the downside here, 5.7 mil sats. And now areas of interest below, we have some confluence through here. And this actually goes back to 2018, all the way back here, some wick lows. And this would be around 5.4 million Satoshis, and then even further down around 5 million Satoshis flat. I know a lot of traders are anticipating a move to this 5 mil sats area. If we just look at this on the hourly chart, you can see the acceleration in the selling there as the ETH Foundation did dump bags. That, of course, is a trigger for other people to also dump their bags. So this has culminated in additional sell pressure for Ethereum overall. And with that historical context, we can see ETH typically do sell near tops and mark local tops, hence price continuation to the downside becomes a bit more likely. Then just to finish up, phishing attempts are rife in crypto right now. And this one is around friend tech. And I'm sure, especially if you're in the US and maybe you have a Verizon phone contract, you want to be very aware of this. But for everyone more broadly, what I'm seeing is a lot of these kind of phishing attempts take place, and they're getting even more sophisticated. So this is Jason Yanowitz of Blockworks, and he says this around friend text. He got a text over the weekend saying that they were going to change his number. So he responded no to this. They then say to confirm no via text and then send the verification code to them. You then receive the actual verification code from FriendTech, as of course the hackers in the background are playing silly buggers and likely are able to submit that to FriendTech directly. And after a no response, they then text again, say they'll auto update your number if you don't send the code. In reality, if you do send the code, your account gets wiped because they would have full access. So you can see the phishing attempt here. FriendTech, a number change has been requested. Reply with yes or no, but bit of a strange ultimatum here. If you don't respond with a no, we'll assume it's a yes and we'll just process the change of number. So Jason did put a no to them. It then goes on, you replied no. So now submit your 6-digit FriendTech verification code. So they have your mobile data, they just need the authentication, that 6-digit code. And as you can see, that'd be very easy for you to fall into that trap. Paste the code in here because you think you're doing the right thing and stopping a hacker from getting your account. But essentially, this allows the hacker to get your account, sell your keys, and rug your ETH. And as we can see, a Bored Ape Yacht Club holder was rugged to the tune of 60 ETH, as this was retweeted by ZachXBT just earlier. So markets likely to take a bit of a tumble here. Whether or not they get rebid back up quickly, we will have to wait and see. But probably a good period in time to touch some grass, enjoy the outside, get some fresh air, and not stare at the screens too much. I've set a few bids on Solana personally, but that is about it for my work. I hope you have a good day out there, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.